So let's talk about your upbringing and like and how did you get involved and how did you get like involved doing the music for video games?
Quite by accident. Like I wasn't one of those guys who listened to John Williams when I was a kid, and then
Okay,
wanted to be. So the whole thing was more about like songwriting and being in bands and things like that. But
cool.
one of the reasons I got into video games is because I had worked with like music producers and engineer. Right, I was really a recording engineer.
Oh, okay, interesting.
So I was doing mixing records and stuff like that for many years, and then I was producing and that kind of thing. And ooh, that's nasty. um,
The husks.
uh, okay. Um, this game is so awesome.
Oh man, you know, and
It really is.
it still looks great. It's like 12, 13 years old, like you know.
I know.
Yeah, but
And
that's interesting. I didn't know you're doing music production and engineering and that. So that's cool.
yeah, I worked with like he's a Welshman named John Cale. Do you know who he is?
It sounds familiar. Yeah.
Well, you might be too young, but John Cale was like a founding member of the Velvet Underground with Lou
Oh
Reed.
right, okay. Oh, John Cale, of course. Sorry, yeah, we
Yeah, that
studied him
guy.
in school, in college. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, of course. Quite a bit. And through him, like people like David Byrne from Talking Heads and
No way, David Byrne.
Pat Smith from the Patti Smith group, and because he produced all those people, and
Wow.
I had a great story working with David Byrne one day. He came with John for John's album, and he's co-writing the song and
Mhm.
play guitar. And because he's David Byrne, I put some slapback echo on his guitar, and he walked in and he's listened to what I'm doing. He goes, "Oh, I really like the guitar sound." It's like,
Oh,
well,
nice.
yeah, the reason you like that guitar sound is because that's your sound, and I know that, so I'm
Oh
gonna go
man,
for that.
that's such a compliment from David Byrne. Like that's cool.
I know. Yeah, he's a nice guy.
Wow, that's amazing.
And then later on, when I was called Mist 4, that was back in like 2004. Peter Gabriel, because he was doing a song for the album
Oh wow.
or for the soundtrack, to go to Real World Studios in Bath, England, and hang out with Peter one day.
No way.
And,
Oh man, Peter's one of my
yeah,
favorite artists.
you and me both, man.
Oh
He's
wow.
my hero.
Oh wow.
So I got to meet my hero through video games. But yeah,
That's
I mean,
amazing. Well, I'm getting to talk to
I,
you today, so for me, this is a pretty good. This is pretty awesome as well. So.
that's funny. Um, so I got into video games quite by accident. I was producing a band in New York City. They had a deal with Capitol Records with Gary Gersh, who was then the president of Capitol Records. He's the guy who signed Nirvana. If you don't know who he
Oh
is.
right. Wow. Okay.
So singer of this band became very quickly my girlfriend, Cindy Shapiro. So she and I and then she became my girlfriend, and we were hanging out a lot. And she was sort of like a her and game designer by day, software designer day, and then at night she was in a rock band and she would play all
Oh
over
wow,
the
that's
city.
cool.
Pretty cool. And she is pretty cool. And
Yeah, man.
she a very good friend who had a game company in San Francisco, and he asked us to write music for their games. So I did that for several years with Cindy, and then we got married and moved to the West Coast. We're out in LA since all that.
Oh wow.
And oh my God, the Husks! I can't believe that I'm watching this right now. That is unbelievable. Like, it's like the precursor to zombies, right? It's like,
Yeah. Futuristic zombies.
So yeah, futuristic zombies. That's exactly what they are. Anyway, yeah. So I became I got involved in video game music that way, and it came at a really good time for me because I was kind of feeling like creatively stifled as a producer. As a music producer, I felt like I could be writing this music instead of just producing this music.
Right.
So it's that side of things, and the rest
That's
is
cool.
history. I've been writing and composing and producing ever since. So, yeah, what's this guy's name?
Saren.
Saren. This is Saren. I should probably remember who he is.
I love his theme. That that dun 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 dun.
Yeah.
And of course you hear it when you die. So anytime you die, you're like, ah, it reminds you of him.
I know. Yeah. He was he's an example of great character design. He's a great character.
He's brilliant. Yeah, I mean it's the true story of good versus evil.
Yeah. It's in the arc of the story. Just love it.
It's amazing.
I mean, the setup to the Reapers actually coming to Earth in Mass Effect 3 is so well done.
Oh yeah.
It was really disappointing to play the beginning of Mass Effect 3 and how that. I don't think it could ever expectation of it because it's so it's like what everything is based on.
Right. Yeah. It's amazing. I mean, I love all three of the games, but I definitely one and two. I mean, one probably is my favorite. Two is also amazing. Three, just the ending and stuff kind of just got to me a little bit, but yeah, I mean, as a trilogy, it's the holy grail,
Absolutely.
Yeah. So the actual Mass Effect, with Casey Hudson, what did he want? What kind of style of music did he give you? Kind of reference tracks?
Yeah, there was a couple. Whiskey Business soundtrack with Tom Cruise.
Tom Cruise, yeah.
So that was like a big anything from Tangerine Dream. It was just sort of like the idea. There were other references too, but I honestly can't remember what they were at this point. That's so sad. But that's what sticks out the most, anyway. Cool.
These guys are. How do I kill these guys again? I mean, I was only playing this yesterday, so. I actually, the first time I played it was on the Xbox. I think I bought it in around 2007, 2008. On the original Xbox.
Sure.
And I remember playing it. I was like, I just couldn't put down the controller,
Mm-hmm. Great. And the different levels of gameplay.
Right.
It's not, like I'm a terrible gamer, so I would just set it to easy. But I don't want to keep dying, I just wanted to keep.
Right.
It wasn't about shooting for me, it was about the story, so I just wanted to make it easier.
Yeah, you're exactly like me, actually. I think I played it maybe on casual the first time because I was so, the choices were kind of more important to me than anything,
Yeah, exactly. Like, you just wanted to get through it. You didn't want to.
Right.
Time.
Yeah, exactly.
There's Saren's theme.
That's it, yeah. 8-note arpeggiated synth.
Right. Those transitions are not bad, how it went between those two pieces of music.
Right.
Cinematic you're looking at, like a little in-game cinematic just to get you to the next bit.
Mm-hmm.
There you go, and now you're fighting.
Right.
Yeah, we did okay with that,
Yeah,
especially
no,
for back then.
For back then, yeah. Because this was using the Unreal 3 engine, is that right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of what made it tough to implement the music, because the Unreal 3 engine was pretty of tools for implementing audio.
Oh, okay.
We ended up using Wise from Mass Effect 2, which
yeah.
robust, and you could really the experience audio wise. But
yeah, I actually haven't used Wise yet, but I kind of went into Fmod a little bit and I messed around with that. So I haven't had the chance to really apply it to any of the music I've done for any games, you know.
Let me tell you something. Implementing music is a full-time job. So I had 2 full-time jobs working on these games. It was, I have so much respect for the people who implement music. It's very difficult. It takes a lot of time and trial and error and
right
stuff.
I can imagine
doing it, but it was just so much. It was so time-consuming. Like my assistant was working in my studio as I was writing, and I would mix pieces and hand them off to him, and then he would be implementing that bit, and then I would work on the next piece and write the next piece, and he'd be on headphones in the other room and
wow,
playing a build of the game that was crashing all the time.
Oh my god.
Like, that kind of deal. Yeah, it's really time consuming.
Wow.
At least it used to be. I think game development is much more stable and faster these days. But yeah, that was tough.
I can imagine. Yeah, I mean, like, it's improving anyway. Like game audio and all the dev tools and that. I've recently started getting into Unreal 4. I'm working on a game at the moment, and I'm just figuring out all the. There's so much involved with the with the distances and the fall off, and then there's like the low pass frequency ranges of like certain sounds and certain cues that go in the game, and it's another world, to actually composing music.
Yeah, it really is. It's like I said, it's another full-time job.
yeah, definitely.
I was glad I did it, but it's not something I want to continue to do, because it's got to the point where the developers really are good at putting music into a game now. So it's not. But I'm glad I did it, because I learned how to do it.
Right. Yeah. And it's it's a different buzz, isn't it? If you're tired of writing music the whole time, you get to see something different and learn something new.
Right. Yeah.
Here's the beacon.
Oh man.
Poor Ashley is going to get sucked in, but no. But I wanted to talk to you about the I guess it's the Mass Effect. It's like a little it's a little leitmotif, I think. I suppose we could probably call it that. It's this one, it's really cool, and and it's in there in the game, and it kind of comes in and out, and you hear it. Yeah. I love that little motif. It's cool.
Oh, that's from the main theme. Yeah, that comes from the main. Yeah, that throughout, just sprinkle it throughout here and there, just
right.
Theme going.
Yeah, because it's not too. It's I play a few games, and and you hear the themes come in, and it's too obvious, and I hate that. I don't want to hear. I want it to be there, but not to kind of take you away from the game,
Right. Yeah. Just a hint of it, really.
Right.
Yeah. Well, for me, it's like, again, it's all about transitions, and if you go. We see a character on the screen, and suddenly you hear the full-blown version of that theme. Games are not good at, in my opinion. They're like, it really a great way to do things, because that's not what you would see in a film, right? You would see a much subtler version of that theme.
Sure.
Percent in a quiet moment.
Right. Yeah.
I remember in Fate Empire, and this is early days. I'm not blaming anybody or criticizing anybody, but I just remember I did this one theme for, I think the name was something Star character, and she Dawn Star, that was her name,
Right.
and for her, and I wrote a specific piece of music for a conversation that she was having, that you were having with her as the player, and
Mhm.
and it was much more subdued. It was much more like that you would see in a movie,
Right.
but I were like that theme that I wrote for the character so much they threw it in there, and it was just like so inappropriate because it was so happy, and there's this really mysterious, moment that was going on in the story, and it was just like, oh my god, I can't believe that's happening right now. So kind of a funny thing in the final game that came out.
Right. So it wasn't your choice to have it in there. It was like it's going in, you know.
No, they just liked the music, so they put it in, and it and
Oh,
it and
okay.
it was that's fine, but moment in the story.
Right.
Jade Empire
Yeah.
is another story-driven game that only BioWare could do, and I was just trying to help that story along with a piece of kind of mysterious music that was very low key, and that got swapped out for a really really happy tune. It
Okay.
was the theme for Dawn Star. It was very funny.
Do you know I haven't played Jade? Is it Jade Dreams? Is that, or what's the name of the
Jade Empire.
Jade Empire? Sorry, yeah, I haven't played it. I must, because I love BioWare games. I mean, this and Knights of the Old Republic. So and of course your music's in it. I have to get around to go back and playing it.
Yeah,
And I'll let you
it's fun
know. I'll let you know how I find the music.
game. Yeah, as a matter of fact, I just heard a friend of mine sent me a link that EA just kind of renewed the right on Jade Empire, so maybe they're thinking of doing another game. I don't know.
Oh, interesting. I love Keith Davis. He's so cool.
Oh yeah, yeah.
He's awesome. And of course
And
he was in the Thing as well. He started the Thing.
are they really?
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
funny.
yeah.
And this,
So yeah, you talked about Sam Hullock and how you were sharing ideas. So you said you shared patches and stuff, and were you sending each other clips through the internet, or like were you together in the same room working out ideas?
No, not at all. We weren't in the same room almost ever.
Oh, okay.
I don't. And Sam was in Chicago, if I'm not mistaken, and I was in LA. So no, we never
Right.
got together.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, kind of crazy, but
That's
not
crazy.
necessary.
Yeah.
We would talk on the phone once in a while, and basically we were just working on different sections of the game together.
Wow. That's bizarre, because like
I think the one we're listening to right now might have been. I'm not sure. It might have been Sam's piece there.
the Normandy bridge music, is it?
Yeah. Oh no,
Is
that
the-
was. This is. Yeah, this is one. Themes. Oh, this piece here was written by Richard Jakes. He took my thing, and I worked with him on it actually, but just started producing. I was like, "Can you use this theme for this and that theme for that?" And he just
Right.
wrote this really cinematic piece for that. It was really cool.
Yeah, it's
So he used
epic.
part of Sam's theme and my theme for that. Because all this stuff, you have to understand, all this stuff comes in at the very, very, very end of development, and then suddenly you've got 50 minutes of music to write in 2 weeks. There's just no way to do it all
Wow. That's
all by
insane.
yourself. So I had to bring in some other guys to help who were very talented.
Of course. I mean, obviously that you guys gelled so well together. it's amazing how quickly you came up with all the music. And
yeah, I was really happy with this piece, how it came out.
yeah, it's real grand,
Yeah, yeah. It was a really like one of the only moments in the entire score where we got like this.
Right.
And then the Normandy was the place to do it. It was sort of like the Normandy was our friend. Let's treat it with some friendly music, and it was really the hope of humanity.
Right.
It was based on this ship.
Yeah.
So we made it important musically.
Yeah, it shows. I mean, or it's
Yeah. Thanks.
And so I mean, you I didn't know actually you were a producer and you did lots of engineering. Did you mix the final soundtrack yourself, or did you have someone else do that for you?
I don't remember. I think everyone mixed their own pieces pretty much. I may have main theme. I was adding stuff to what that was what Sam and I were truly working on that together. So I was adding things and
Cool.
and then I had the final mix on my end, but can stems and remixed them for certain things.
Right.
This is the Citadel piece. So yeah, this piece I wrote in the previous one where the Normandy is landing on the Citadel. That theme and to his piece as well. So there's an example of us kind of trying to go on,
Yeah, it's cool. It has this mysterious vibe from it,
Mm-hmm.
I can't actually remember. Is it? I think it's like a minor. Is it? Yeah, and then it has the sharp 5 thing.
Oh yeah, well, sharp 5 is like.
Yeah, it's the space thing.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, it's sort of my take on the Citadel theme was that this is the hub of humanity's fight against this whatever this evil darkness is, right? So
Right.
it was sort of like this grand piece of basically the idea in my head was this was like the epitome of mankind's technological prowess, but there's a darkness underneath it all too that
Right.
we're not really sure why, but there's a darkness here.
Mm-hmm.
So that minor key is helping that, and the rest of the music is rather grand in a way,
Mm-hmm.
but it's not grand in a happy way. It's grand in sort of this mysterious way, like there's something underneath it all is not quite right.
Right. Yeah, there's this underlying kind of eerie, that's something that's not right.
Exactly. Like I can hear this music. You're a composer. You get this. You can hear just by walking around. Like it's very important for me to be looking at this video.
Right.
Video of you playing the game and what it's like to be there, and then I can just kind of hear what that sounds like.
Mm-hmm.
That's how it comes out for me.
Yeah, you need some kind of imagery or gameplay to. Yeah, it's because it's very difficult. I mean, I know for myself. Get writer's block, and sometimes it just doesn't flow. It doesn't come out, and it's frustrating. But yeah, like visual stuff really helps a lot.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, all the inspiration you need is right there on the screen, right? I mean, you're just looking at this place of wonder.
Yeah.
There's a wonderment to the piece of music as well. It's like all these different things wrapped up in it.
Right.
I mean, you're looking up at a fake sky, right? Like,
yeah.
Pretty magnificent vista right here. And you've got these cars, these spacey cars flying back and forth. Like, that's their road. Blade Runner was the other major influence on the score.
Yeah.
That was the Vangelis score and all that. That was huge influence. That was the other main influence for the score is Vangelis.
Yeah. Yeah, you could
Yeah, it
definitely
was,
hear it.
and there's a darkness to it.
Yeah, it's wonderful. But like, so when you were writing these themes, how long did it take you to kind of get in the mood and get the right themes for for Casey? Was he, was it like first go, or did you go back and try different ideas and do that way?
No, it's hard for me to remember exactly how this went. I do have this overarching memory. Really tough game to work on.
Okay.
There was some revisions. There was some logical issues with getting music in the game. Yeah, it was just
Okay.
tough, you know. Now in the end, it all came together, but it was a tough go, man. It was really a tough one.
Wow. Well, it came out all right. Very much so.
Yeah, no. Sometimes the extra effort's so worth it, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, well, the games I work on now, like Call of Duty, it's relatively easy as I recall it. I mean, it's a lot of work to do. There's hours and hours of music to write, but
Mhm.
pretty well. And then, I've got my team, and we kind of get through all the stuff that we have to get through.